All right, everyone. So we have a lot of good news today. If the info in the first story is true, then massive win for Chicago. I wanted to make a quick video just to put this out since there's been a lot of chaos for the last couple of months. I think the people at least deserve to know that things are looking way up. Apparently, Greg Bovino and his ICE squads may be leaving Chicago. Regardless of whether or not that's true, there are also hundreds of detainees set to be released. So, from November 12th, Gregory Bovino and his Border Patrol agents are planning to leave Chicago as early as next week. So, Bovino and the ICE crew are apparently planning to leave as early as next week to focus on other areas of the country. Apparently, Charlotte, New Orleans could be the next stops. Supposedly, the decision to leave comes from Judge Sarah Ellis's injunction blocking the use of excessive force. We covered this in a video a couple of days ago. Already, Chicago's mayor has celebrated them potentially leaving. And today, Thursday, a magistrate judge is heading over to the Broadview Detention Center to check out the conditions. I imagine if she agrees with another judge who said that the conditions needed to be improved, that will kind of help Bovino move out that much more. With that said, the Homeland Security spokesperson said that they aren't leaving. I think I would take that with a grain of salt considering it's coming from Homeland Security and based off of the type of propaganda that they put out recently. Might not be worth listening to them. Now, if ICE does leave, huge win, right? I think it doesn't matter if it's a strategic move. It looks like ICE is taking an L, right? Federal judge issues an injunction. The weather starts to turn cold. People hate them. And ICE run away with their tails between their legs. It doesn't look like a massive success. It looks like exactly what it was, which was a messy mission that targeted many people unlawfully, as we will see in the next story. Chicago Tribune, a federal judge, Jeffrey Cummings, signaled that he plans to grant bond to hundreds of immigrants swept up in this whole Operation Midway Blitz, saying that many of the arrests likely broke a consent decree that restricts warrantless detentions. So he ordered 13 people be released immediately after the Justice Department admitted their arrests violated the agreement. He also told the government to report by November 19th how many of the 615 affected detainees are still being held and whether they have any serious criminal histories that would require mandatory detention. So he's giving them essentially a week to check them and say, hey, have you released hundreds more? Because it kind of looks like they're here based on bullshit reasons. So the judge pointed to information from more than 150 ongoing immigration cases showing that the people arrested were mostly regular workers, landscapers, Uber drivers, vendors, shoppers, people attending immigration appointments, and not dangerous criminals. Plaintiffs say that more than 3,300 people were arrested in total. 3,300 people arrested, and most were believed to be unlawfully detained. Now, they've been detaining people for months, and in that time, unfortunately, they deported or got hundreds of people to agree to leave the country, and we don't know yet how many of those people would fall into this category of people who are or were unlawfully detained. And as part of this bigger story, another article from Chicago Tribune, a federal judge ruled that mandatory detention of a daycare worker who was violently arrested at her preschool is unlawful and she must be given a bond hearing. All right, so ICE went to a daycare, took this woman out, and then there was a huge rally that night in the neighborhood where this occurred. I think people that don't live in Chicago don't realize how much people in the city hate ICE. Like, they never were wanted. They were never needed. They detained a bunch of people that they never should have. I mean, at this point, you've probably heard it 100 times, but that's fascism, right? You're not identifying yourselves. You're not showing your face. You're pointing weapons at people, deploying tear gas, assaulting people, not presenting warrants, not Mirandizing people, putting them in detention centers. If there's nothing wrong, like we covered it a few days ago, that paralegal who was detained, they just let you go. Anyway, the news today, huge win. And again, if ICE really do leave soon, it's that much bigger. Things are looking up. I think there's some semblance of justice in law, even with a clown show of an administration in charge. So, yeah, thanks for watching.